Welcome to a Tuesday Live. I'm your host, Odinato. In the house, we have Chris Cruzy, Steve from Cosmic Force, Jaco 13, Crypto Terry, and Balls Deep. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining. Well.
What's up, guys?
There have been some developments in the last 24 hours. We'll get into that. We'll talk about some stuff because there's some important happenings, but not everything's doom and gloom or, different. We have some fun stuff to get into as well, and we're going to actually kick off with the fun stuff. But first, let's kick that juice. The only advice I have for you is have an open mind and try to have fun. Try to have fun in life. There's not enough of that going around, and there's always a time for this and that, but I don't know, man. Try to put on a smile today. Everything is not bad. Things might start looking up. So I want to start off with something fun because we have Steve from Cosmic Force here today in the middle of his... Yeah, good, man. I can't even imagine how much sleep do you get? You're working so crazy hard on your project.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got to sleep. You got to sleep sometimes. So don't worry. We sleep. You got to do
2
it.
hours a day.
No. You got to do it. You got to do it, or else you're not going to think straight, are you? So advice to everybody: make sure you get some good sleep. So that's what I'm saying.
I'd have to say that when I was in my 40s. It was easy to get by without, without a whole lot of sleep, right? But holy crap, getting into my 50s, I need more sleep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do things with your body that I could, it comes out wrong if I say I could only dream about it. I don't mean that way at all. What I mean to say is, it's like...
Oh, just got demonetized.
Watch yourself.
No. No, what I mean to say is, you've been through thorough training like all your life and that, but I get aches and that. And I think part of my aches is being sat in front of a computer too long, so goodness knows how your knees may ache or your arms or whatever, but it happens to us all.
Yeah,
I'm just that bit older than you, Audie, so you just remember that,
So I take away all excuses, don't I? It's not everybody's bag to throw your body out there and abuse it. There we go. We're going down. I'm getting demonetized. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. So so we're gonna. I thought we'd kick this off for the stream with something fun. Cosmic Force has released a new video as of a couple hours ago. This is a really cool video look into the game development video number 3. So let's see if we can get this to work right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I just explain one thing about it just before? Okay, so what you're about to see is basically this is the home base, and it's part of the home base that we'll be releasing as part of gameplay. And when the video kicks into motion, you'll see a simulator room where you've got these simulator pods, and the initial part of gameplay is going to be what you play in the simulator. So what we're seeing today is the actual platform, the area that you can walk about and do things before you get into the simulator training that's part of Cosmic Force. So over to you.
All right. I'm trying to figure out this layout to make this bigger without... Chris, is there a way to make this screen? I mean, it's full screen. Thank you. All right. See, my man, Chris. There we go.
Wow.
All right. This is a sick video. This is really cool.
So I will do a little bit of a talk for it.
Yeah, please.
Like normally there's some audio going on, but it's just some music. So what you can see there, oh, don't worry. But what you can see there is basically the simulator pods. So we're just a quick fly through that room. But what it's about building the initial platform, and this is only a very, very small part of what will become the entire home base, the home world. And as we fly through like different areas, this is a video like fly through. We will be doing some videos showing some actual sort of gameplay of your character running through, and some of the doors that you saw earlier, that they do actually open, you know, in an automatic way. But today for this is giving you a fly through. This is the sort of mess room area where the cadets can meet up and get together. Once we start hitting the multiplayer, initially it's going to be single player, and it's all about getting into that simulator room and playing a few different types of simulator gameplay. The different gameplay that's going to be happening is like first-person shooter. We're going to actually be doing, there's got to be some space training as well. So there's going to be training on how to fly your starship. So you get basic starship training. And of course, you know, you've got to have an asteroid belt that you've got to get through without being destroyed. All that kind of thing is going to be happening. So today it's quite tranquilo as we go through some of these corridors. And again, it just gives the players that come in a chance to have a wander around. We may include some extra functionality into these sort of areas, that, like, for example, some consoles that you can go up to and get some information. We're working on an AI character that's possibly going to be in this area, and you'll be able to ask questions about Cosmic Force and get live responses from the AI that's going to be built into this area. And the third gameplay that we'll be putting into the simulator is, if anybody's seen so far, we've got a few. There's basically 6 planets that you're going to be colonizing, and we have 6 different drone footage videos that we've actually put out there on YouTube. If you go to the YouTube channel, you can watch them. And what the drones did, they actually scanned the planets, and we're going to be doing simulators of the planets that you can go to, and you can actually colonize or do everything that you want to do for mining and building a settlement. So it gives a chance, basically through the simulators, for you to check out the planets before you actually go to the planets. So right now I think we possibly going to go back into the simulator room where the main action is going to be taking place.
This is just jaw-dropping, Steve. It just blows me away.
So I've got to say, like, it's Matt on the team. He's the main world builder, and he's built this. He's still working on it, and so each one of them pods you see there, they're the pods that you're going to be going into, and then basically going into a simulator, and it's a game within a game, you know. So you're in a simulator within Cosmic Force, and that's what it's about. And it just felt important that with everything going on, and we're doing a lot of work as well when it comes to the contracts, and of course recently we announced that we're doing a game in blockchain. Everybody's doing blockchains these days. No, they're not. But, there's a lot of things going on, and so I think it just felt the right time to put out an update, just showing the actual fun side. The reason we do what we're doing is because it's about the game in the end, and any value that maybe in NFTs or planet shares or whatever people have so far, that there isn't any worth unless there's a game at the end of it. So we just need to put updates out there and let people know what we're doing. So
That's really cool.
Enjoyed it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe the level of detail that you can now do with the with Unreal Engine 5. What a game changer. I mean, no pun intended, but I mean, it is. It's just unreal. I like to key in on specific little things that just blow me away, like the as you're changing it was panning through different scenes, and you can see as it's panning past a piece of glass from one side to the next that the shadow follows or the reflection follows. Things, little tiny things like that, just blow me up. I just love it.
Yeah, I think you like the blue tinted glass in there near the mess room. Yeah. But when I saw that, I thought, yeah, Matt, that is definitely good. I like how you put that there. So yeah, and and like I said, this is just a real small part of the Orm base, of the Orm world. And what we decided from the beginning is we're not trying to build a complete metaverse, the complete game, do everything, and then 3 years or 4 years down the line say, right, okay, we just need another year. So what we want to do, because even Matt, as a team, we're very ambitious, right? Sometimes we're too ambitious, and it's like, why can't we just release the entire base? Because what you see there is part of the entire base, and you can actually run around the entire base, but then it doesn't make sense. So the idea is that we release in iterations, small parts, and this is part of the reason for doing the simulator training, because these are games that we can really keep control of, and even release them as separate individual games, maybe on mobile or on Steam, and and it's a way of bringing more people in and building more gradual, not too slowly, but more gradual, but in calculated steps. So every step we make, it's a playable game, and people can enjoy, and all the time we're creating a path for people to come in down the line. So as it gets more and more complicated and complex, the training is being done. So you've got everybody like running up the ranks and becoming cosmonauts. Is that the right word?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Comrade. Yeah.
Cosmonauts. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's a bit Russian, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, the government and the cosmonauts, I separate that. I mean, they have nothing to do with what the president of their country is doing. So cosmonauts it is. Yeah, that's cool.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to say they are cadets. So at the end of the day, they're all cadets. I can see Mandalorian in the background. Like you've got a bit of the Mandals going on there. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, Star Wars in the upper right, left corner, whatever. Yeah. Oh man, I tell you, can't wait till the new Mando season comes out. It's never fast enough. And the Boba Fett series. What was that? Just one season, and then they nixed it. I read it. I was looking that up, and I was like, okay, when's the next season? And I saw that Disney officially announced that they weren't moving forward with that. And I saw, so anybody who's into Star Wars, yeah, that one got the boot. And let's see what else. Oh, Loki. I had read that Disney had stalled on that, and they actually have announced that they've already put Loki season 2 in the can, and they're editing, and it's coming out. So it should be out soon for anybody who is following that. This whole 6 episodes equals a season, I think, is a bunch of crap. I don't like that where things have gone. 6, 10 episodes, that's a season. Dude, there used to be 10 episodes. Yeah, when we were growing up, there was like you'd have 10, 12 episodes from like September into, like beginning of November. Then they take a break for 2 weeks or something for for a little bit. And, you'd have 20 something, almost 30 episodes in a season for a drama, and like twice that many for, a 30-minute show. And now,
how long would an episode be as well? An episode would actually be a bit longer. Like now they can be like 18 minutes could be an episode, so. Yeah, it's whatever it is because it's streamed. So yeah,
true. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Steve. Gosh, it just keeps me waiting. I was like, I want to be a cadet. I want to be a cadet.
I mean, we've got lots more we could talk about with it, but I know, like today people are hungry to talk about other things and that, so I do appreciate giving a little bit of time just to have that little space walk. like through a station
Yeah.
there, and to just to it's like going to the cinema. You know, I like going to the cinema and just like you just lose where you are and that, you know, and you're in the moment. So yeah, thanks for that. That was great.
Yeah. I think we can all do with a little of that from time to time.
Yeah.
I do it more than I probably should. I like to lose myself and forget about whatever's going on, you know, in the real world for a little bit, get a little bit of a brain break. Yeah. So yes. Oh, and before we move on, Steve, so you still have nodes for sale, yes?
Oh
For
yeah,
Cosmic Force?
So Cosmic Force, yeah, we announced probably just over a couple of weeks ago that we were building a blockchain and that we would be releasing nodes. Now, these nodes are they're done in a slightly different way. They're for 5 years they're going to be like looked after by a DAO, and what this means is that if you actually buy into a node, you get the rewards, but you don't need to do all the setting up a computer, all that kind of stuff. So when it comes down to actual servers, there'll be a number of servers, up to 7 initially, and there'll be node co-owners. But then over the 5-year period, each node will end up becoming a full node that you then look after yourself. So I think it gives plenty time to actually work out how that happens in the end. But yeah, that's the route that we're going down, and we've had quite a few takers and quite a few people excited on that front. And there is going to be a lot more news and stages that we go through when it comes to the blockchain, which is specifically for gaming. So we're going to be, just to explain, we're going to be like Cosmic Blockchain is a gaming blockchain initially for Cosmic Force, but it could be for other games in the future. But we are also on Binance. We're a multi-chain project, and so what that means is whatever becomes the new name of Vulcan, whatever blockchain that becomes, and it looks like it's going to be a creative blockchain, which we love. There's absolutely every possibility we're going to be on there as well. You know, in fact, you know, we're invested in it, and so we want to be on it. So there you go.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I'm excited for everything coming from Cosmic Force, and I know it's going to take some time. You know, you're going to have, was it the beta? No, alpha. Is alpha releasing? Was it still for October?
Yeah. So what we're looking at doing is in October we're looking at releasing alpha. Well, we're calling it sort of pre-alpha. So it's pre-alpha gameplay, and this is a chance for anybody that's part of Cosmic Force right now to get in and try things out, and really it's you know, we can have testers on the ground. So you guys, the community, can become the initial testers and giving it a good bash. So we're looking forward to that. Also in October, we're looking at releasing testnet. So it sort of goes hand in hand on that front. And also the other thing that we're releasing in October that we haven't talked about too much is the Cosmic Force token. So this is the in-game token, which at the moment has just been something that people buy into to then buy NFTs, and it's going to be released with the bonus that's at the moment it keeps clocking up to more bonus. And initially we were going to be putting liquidity into Uxie. Actually, we bought into Uxie, but that's a different story. Mm-hmm. So liquidity into Uxie and then releasing it on Vulcan. But now, because of timings and everything, we're going to release it on Binance, and that's where it's going to be. And the actual fully in-game token is going to be on the Cosmic blockchain, but that'll be literally a token. It won't have liquidity in the blockchain. The liquidity will be in Binance. It's just a way that we're looking at doing it for this. And then there's more news to come out, because we're still working on the final parts of the white paper, which became a lot more complicated. Now we have incorporated a blockchain in there, you know. So look out for that over the next week, I would say.
All right, cool. Thank you. We will keep our eyes peeled. And I see that there was looks like we had a question that had been brought up.
Milky.
There was a question. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
Milky said he loves the mechanics of the nodes, so yeah. I mean, we love Milky as well, so he's a great guy.
Yeah, Milky's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, can you? I mean, Milky is just awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely
He's
awesome.
too smart for me too. That's why we don't have him on this live, because I just can't keep up with him.
I'm not just saying he's awesome because he's a fellow Brit, but he is a fellow Brit. There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. That's
Stick
all right.
together.
No, he is. He's really great. You can tell how smart he is, and
Yeah.
he doesn't have to brag about his experience in the real estate market. All he has to
No.
do is start talking, and you already can tell he's just got this vast wealth of knowledge about it. And so we're lucky that he hooked up with NR and Kryptonian. And honestly, I'm sorry, I don't remember the guy from Canada, but there's a guy from Canada who's also a real estate guru that they've talked about. So it sounds like their project is just going to go gangbusters. And I can't wait to be a part of that one too.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of real estate here, a little bit of real estate there, But Bad Behavior does have a question. Is it possible to put a big screen somewhere in the home base where you can see the chat from Cosmic Discord live and charts on different tokens / coins, etc.?
Well, let me get my pen out and put that one down because I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
What I can say, and it's sort of like the other way around, but everything that happens initially, it's single player, but it's based on leaderboards. And the initial change that will happen when we start doing like mob, I say like mob missions. So that could be like up to 8 players playing together as a team.
Cool.
There'll be updates put out onto Discord to say, right, in the next 10 minutes, a mission is going to start, and now's the time. And it could be, first of all, like your individual missions, where you're playing against a leaderboard, and there'll be like a 1-hour window to actually complete the mission, and then see where you land on the leaderboard. But I do like Bad Behavior. I do like the idea of actually bringing Discord the other way around into the game. Got to think about that, because it feels like when you're in the game, you want to be completely immersed. So we'd like to keep the immersion going, but in saying that, at some point in the future, there will be the capability of talking to people that are online at the same time within the game. So, there's a little bit of like, what's the difference then? So, but I'll certainly write that one down. So, like it.
I like this idea too. It's kind of, I see what you're saying about being totally immersed, but isn't Discord, if you look at it another way, it's sort of real world, but also in the digital world. And I don't know. I think it's kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, we could have a special channel, which is the in-game channel. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah.
He has a follow-up here.
Yeah. In that way, you don't have to minimize the game or exit to see the Discord, etc. It will keep you in the game more. I like the way this Bad Behavior thinks.
So this is if you've only got one screen, So so all you people that may only have one screen, I think, I don't know about you guys. I've got this screen here, and I've got a screen here, and I've got a screen here. It's like, but yeah, I think it's a good idea. But I wouldn't like to switch it to certain. I think we keep it switchable just to certain channels in Discord.
Right on. There was a question I saw. I happened to see that it was flying by Slumdog, I think it was, saying something about, or a question about why his comment was deleted or something. I don't see him on my channel.
I don't see it anywhere, but I saw it come up, and I think he said he didn't comment, but he got a notification that his comment was removed. Yeah, I didn't comment, but I went and made him a mod on mine, so he's on mine right now. I made him a mod, so I'm like, if it gets messed up, then you can fix it.
Right on.
But can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing about Slumdog Millionaire? Right, he had an absolutely great idea about doing a taco. What did it? A taco wagon in space, So, and then also like a Chinese one. So I guess on the Chinese front, it's a bit like like some of the like Blade Runner, where the Chinese cart comes up to the window, like selling all the Chinese and that. So I do love some of your ideas, Slumdog. I think you're
especially
out there.
This one.
Let's get it planned. Funny that you say that. He was the next comment.
I like this comment, man. Yeah, let's definitely create a clan, and Chris could lead the charge, and then we can go kick some serious space.
Well, I won't be leading anything, but I sure as hell. He says, "Are you going to be playing?" Well, let me see. I'm a degenerate gamer, so yeah, I'll be playing.
It looks like a game I might want to play. And I don't even play games.
Well,
there you go. See,
I saw the premiere of the video this morning. I'm like, oh. For heaven's sakes! Now there's another game that I'm gonna have to get so involved in.
Oh, what a shame! What a
people
shame,
are like, "Hey, could you do that?" Nah, I'm busy playing this game. It's tough.
That's what it used to be like when I played EVE Online, like we've talked about before. Yeah. I would play it, and then the kids sometimes they just want to say, "Oh, Dad, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Hold on, I'm in the middle of a battle." So I got a little bit too much, but. Yeah.
You're like, you guys need to learn how to change your own diapers so I can continue.
Yeah, exactly. This is important. This is very important.
What do you need dinner? Who needs food?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can just feed yourself. Yeah. Hey, they made it to their 20s and 30s, so I guess I didn't do too bad.
I think still got diapers on.
They all survived, huh?
Yeah, they survived. But I mean, speaking of diapers, I'm not far away from that. So.
Oh, you're going back into diapers? Oh, you're old, Odie.
Maybe in the next 20 years, we'll see. If I can hold out at least 20 years, I'll be feel accomplished. So yeah.
Not yet. Are you thinking of doing a bit of sumo wrestling? That's what you're talking about, is it?
Yes, lightweight sumo wrestlers. Yes.
Yeah. Ninja to
the bantamweights.
Let's see. We've got. Let's see. Between the five of us, we've got one,
goodness,
two, over 250 years worth of age up here, man.
I wonder what you were.
Well, with you guys, it's like 275.
Well, maybe 240. 240, close enough. Yeah.
Wow.
Tartan Madman, thank you. As a gaming fan myself, am I too late to buy everything I need to be part of the game when it launches? I didn't have the money to invest in this amazing project, but I want to now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, all you need to do is go to the website or go to the Discord and just ask one of the mods, like, what should I buy? And they'll leap on you, I'm telling you. But basically, the starting point for all of this is whether you're an alpha cadet or OG. There are a few OGs around that they give you like some good discount for the future. There's only 99 OGs that are ever going to be available. They give 35% discount forever on future new NFTs that are created in game, all that kind of stuff. But the incentive on that one is really that you have then the ability, imagine when there's thousands of players coming in and they don't get any discount, you've got the ability to buy things and then resell them on the marketplace. So it's a market driven economy, but that isn't where it stops. But if you look into it and you think, okay, I just want to dip my toes in, then there's also alphas available, and you get 25% discount on that. And there's 2,100 of them available, so there's still a few available. So, and then you can look into, the back videos and see what's been going on so far, because there's all different ways of creating the sort of revenue streams for the future. So, sorry, I keep stuttering, but with Cosmic Force, we're on more of a slow burn. It's not a get rich scheme overnight. It's actually a product that we're building, and the point is that many of these games that are out there, they actually take millions and millions to build. We're doing it on a shoestring. Let's say a shoestring, because that sounds good, but we don't want the quality to be of a shoestring product. So we're an independent studio, and we're actually building a product that players will be playing, that will grow over time. And we're looking to release fully in January. Let's say I'm saying February, and so I just want to give like 1 month leeway on that one. But we're looking to release officially and properly, like with the blockchain, in January. So I know you've heard that before, but that's what we're aiming for. So
yeah, well, it's what you said though. You qualified that with that's what we're aiming for, and in the world that you're in, definitely delays and unforeseen things come up and glitches, and so I think more than anywhere else, this community would totally understand. We definitely would. That's just the nature of the beast with game development.
It's nature of the beast, but like one thing that we're quite aware of, just because any other projects take longer or whatever, it doesn't give you excuses. So we're really trying our darndest. That's an American term there, but it feels like I'm amongst friends. So, but we're trying our hardest to actually make sure that we can hit the deadlines, and this is why today we want to actually show what's going on in the background. So what it's going to look like, the first area of gameplay. What does it look like? On the base. The next things that we'll be releasing is showing you like some of the first-person shooter simulator training, and then we'll be showing you more. We've already given some hints on that in previous videos, but we want to show updates along the way, and like I said, we're not trying to like aim too far in the distance to try and like do too big a jump. It's like let's make good steps, but steps in the right direction, like every week. So every week that goes by, we want to make sure that we're nearer to the goal and people can see that as well, So yeah, so Tartan, if you want to get involved, then we'd be very happy to have you as a cadet.
Yeah, I can't wait. God, I can't wait. The simulator within the simulation. I like that with those pods. So that's where the cadet training is going to start, correct?
Yeah. So it is a bit weird. You're in a game already, so you're in a virtual world already, but really that's the real world, So Cosmic Force is a real place. It's a real planet. There's real planets out there. Everything that's being built is being built in a way that it's procedural. Right. It's actually an open world mechanics that we're using, which means the worlds will be actual world size, and we've got all the statistics on the website to say what size the planets are in relationship to the Earth, and when we build them out, they'll be built in such a way. But to actually release the open world in one go, that's too much. So everything that happens in the beginning is in the simulators, in them pods, and you'll see what the gameplay is going to be like in there over the next few weeks, and then ultimately in October when we release. So that's what we're looking at. Yeah.
And everything in the Cosmic Force universe is it's a persistent universe. Accurate. And for those that are maybe more of a casual gamer, or you maybe aren't used to that term, it is important to know. And this is another thing on this long list of why it's so cool. This project is that it's a persistent universe. So if you let's say you get on a planet in Cosmic Force in that universe and you build something, well, it's you log off. Well, I don't know if people are going to be able to blow up structures and such. I don't know about those part of the mechanics, but it doesn't disappear just because you've logged off. I guess that would be a good way to put it. What you own is what you own, correct?
Correct.
And what you've built is still what you built, and it's there tomorrow unless somebody blew it up, or I don't know. Are we going to be able to do that? Blow up people's bases and stuff and structures, or?
I think at some point in the future there would be the pirate side of things. I do know by doing research and talking to people, what we don't want is that while you're in the game, that literally you're thinking at any second somebody could come and take everything I've got, So that's not a good feeling to have. Now there are games out there that can happen, and I think there will be certain missions that you can go on, and what the risk is going on a certain mission, but I think we'll put boundaries around that, and it's a community-driven game as well. So certain types of gameplay we will be literally put into the community and finding out what works and what doesn't work, even before certain elements are built. And I think that's the best way to do it. But as far as somebody coming in and blowing your place up, not at the moment, but in the future, we haven't even talked about the aliens. Are there aliens on these planets? Where are the aliens now? Why aren't
Maybe
they there now?
Mission to find them?
Do they live anywhere near in a distant galaxy or whatever? You know, so there's lots of stories that are going to unfold as we go through the missions and the actual journey that Cosmic Force takes you on. It's a story that's unfolding. That's what I'm trying to say. So.
Yeah. How cool that we're getting a project that we can all be a part of and invest in that's built by gamers for gamers. And that's really what you got here. Steve and his team, they like playing video games. And this isn't your first video game that you've developed. But would I be correct in saying this is definitely the biggest project you've done thus far in that space by far?
Oh yeah. Because this is based on the previous version of Cosmic Force, which is literally more reminiscent to the 8-bit shoot 'em up sort of arcade machine versions. Which at some point I should show you links. But if you do a search on Google for Cosmic Force, just type in Cosmic Force game and you'll find it. You'll see the game there. It works on. It actually will run on PCs as well with emulators, but it was designed initially for the Commodore 64. If anybody remembers Commodore 64. Yeah. The strange thing is, we actually wrote this game not that many years ago. Because there's a big retro community out there, and we just decided we want to recreate a Commodore 64 8-bit game, and we released it on floppy disk and cartridge, and so the actual story.
Oh man,
so the actual back. I know. It sounds crazy, the evolution of where we're coming from to where we're going, but WaveM Studios, the team behind everything, we're actually a production studio. We're a film company studio, and that's how we first got involved with the community at large, like by filming in Dubai and filming over in London. But we've done a few documentaries. One of the documentaries is about Commodore business machines. It's on Amazon. It's called The Commodore Story, if anybody wants to look that up. It's a 2-hour documentary about where Commodore business machines came from. And like every business, there's always like a story behind how our business can become a big business. And in this particular one, it's a guy that survived. Well, I'll just say it. He survived Auschwitz, and he was liberated by the Americans. He came over and he started fixing typewriters, and down the line he ended up making computers and becoming one of the biggest computer manufacturers in the world at a certain point in time. But then, of course, we have Apple and IBM, and they all took over in the end. But what I'm saying is every project has got to start somewhere, and this is where Cosmic Force starts. It starts from the retro world. It starts as a retro game, and now it's cutting edge technology. We're using AI where we can. We want to be able to use AI to influence the game, so that if you play a game or a mission twice, it's never going to be the same, because there's subtle differences that are going to happen because of the AI element. And just anything that we can sort of throw into it to make it as cutting edge as possible. But we don't want to stop ourselves in the tracks, because we're just trying to chase technology. We will be using proven technology. Even when it comes down to AI, it is a little bit cutting edge. On Discord, we created an AI channel. So we've got something called Cosmic AI. And if you wanted to go over to our Discord, you can ask our little friend Cosmo, who is an AI character. He is completely built out in the back end. He's a little bit unintelligent in areas because he's only programmed up to know what he knows. But yeah, we've had a bit of fun on that front, and it's a way of testing AI and releasing it to the community for them to try out as well, So you're thinking of doing it live on screen now.
I'm doing it right now. We'll see what kind of. Oh, so I just went in. I said, chicks dig me, guys want to be me. And it took a second for it to think. And then it said, that's great to hear.
Oh, I'm glad it said that, because if you say anything too controversial, it will tell you that you're that's not PC. You shouldn't be saying stuff like that in the AI. So I think that's all right. That's all right.
One of your mods, CF, your mod CF, immediately after that just puts the big eyeballs. Like, really? I had to mess with it. Well, that's awesome, man. That is so awesome.
Eddie, did you see the awesome idea down here? The comment.
Oh yes, thank you. Yes, Kvelt DeFi. I probably said that wrong. Sorry. When B&B pot casino in space. Yeah.
Well, on that front, we shy away a little bit from being on like the full-on casino type activity because we're a game rather than a casino. We're not complete. We're not completely down on them lines. Now, there's going to be some elements that involve maybe wagering and doing battle or whatever, but it's more down onto skill rather than luck. But interestingly, we did talk. I did communicate with the guys on what's it called again? It's called BNB. What was it called there? Yeah, that's it. But BNB pot. Well, that's just a terminology in it, that having a BNB pot. But
I can see from the website.
No, that's the name of it. That's the web page. BNB pot. It's got a casino.
It is. Right. Okay. So definitely these guys we've talked to and said, wouldn't it be good to have a casino in space? And the point being is that maybe like through the metaverse that we create, there could be a portal or some way of being able to access other platforms. So never say never. It could be a possibility. So we have already talked to these guys, and we look what they're doing, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Look at Milky real quick. Milky brought up.
Yeah, you got to know GNFT.
Well, I'm going to say OG, OMG. It's not OG, OMG. Milky. I'm going to buy one of your houses.
I figured you'd need more time to answer Slumdog Millionaire's question. I throw those other ones up real quick so I see them, but I figured you'd spend some time on this.
Yeah, well, I can answer that one. Okay, so with each 1% Planet NFT, it says, will it come with a fully fledged base on the planet? If I own two 1% NFTs, does it mean I own two bases on the planet? And the answer is yes. For every 1% NFT owner, co-owner of the planet, there is actually a base that you get. We do have a video on that. I don't know if I have it here somewhere, but if you go to the page where the NFT, the 1% NFTs are for sale, like you'll see a link going to the information page, and in there it shows you a few more details. And we have actually got like a video render, like showing what the planets will, showing what the planet owners' properties will look like. So they're actually in a base in like an oval sort of situation. I don't know if I don't know what controls I've got from this side, so I wasn't sure on what I can do.
You want to show on the screen? You want to share your screen, or
possibly.
If you want, you're able to. You can go to the very bottom of the screen where it says "present," and it has that kind of a picture of a monitor with a plus in it, and you can choose to share either a tab from from your browser, or you can share an entire screen or an app if you wish.
It was only if it was like really there visible. Right. Okay. So I'll attempt to.
Or if you want to come back to that in a minute, that's fine.
No, I can do that right now. So the answer is yes. This is what it looks like. I will get it onto the screen just here. One second. It's gonna be coming up, and it's gonna be.
While we're waiting for that, hey MCM, if you're going to sleep, man, you don't have to watch. It's up to you. I mean, I'm not here to get. I mean, hey, I'm here for fun. It's fun. So if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. It's all good.
But anyway, just show that very quickly what I've got.
Oh, okay.
I've shared just there. So that's basically it's a base that's got a platform that you can put your starship on, your starfighter, and yeah. So there you go. But so who's falling asleep then?
Hey,
not me.
I think this is cool. Everybody wants something different from the lives. That's why there's a whole bunch of us. And right now we are simul streaming on 8 different channels. So something I wanted to bring up actually on a side note. We got some background noise. Let's see. There we go. Sorry, balls deep. When we run these streams, we try to do our best to entertain you and give you the information that we can. We're human beings. We do our best. We can't get to every single question as much as we would like, especially now that we've kind of, most of the time we're going live on 7-8 different channels at the same time. So all of the comments that you see on the channel you're watching us on right now are the only ones that you see. But on the right side of our screen, all of us up here, we can see all the comments from all 8 channels, and it's a lot. There's about 80 odd people watching right now, and we appreciate you joining us. And it just kind of let you know, because last night on the live stream that we were doing, there were a couple of folks that got a little upset that, some comments had been missed or questions had been missed. And I just wanted to say that, we do our best, and we certainly don't want to miss anybody's question. There is the option, and I'm not pushing for it, but I'm just saying there is the option that if you want to, some of the channels have the ability to do a super chat. So if you have something that you really want to make sure isn't missed, you can, throw $1 on there or $2 or whatever, and then that will get starred, or it'll be highlighted for us to see. It's very obvious and it stands out above and beyond the rest of the comments or questions. And then we can make sure we get to it as quickly as possible. So that is an option. But if you're not wanting to do a super chat, that's fine. However, your comment may get missed, or your question. But we always do our best. But it's just understand that we don't do it on purpose. And sometimes the way the conversation goes, it goes this way, it goes that way. Sometimes we may be on a tangent for a while, and we actually, while we're talking, we're actually looking, and we can see this while they're happening. So I just hope that everybody understands that we do try to do our best to help out the community in the best way possible. But at the end of the day, we can only do so much. So hopefully everybody understands that. Some folks were saying that Chris last night was missing a question, and, he was trying really hard to find that question. And I don't believe you found it, if I remember right. And maybe there was a misunderstanding from the person that thought that, they asked it. We found out it wasn't deleted, but we are trying. We do our best. So hopefully everybody understands that. But so I want to thank Steve so much for giving us so much of his time here and showing us and sharing what the latest developments are with Cosmic Force. A lot of us are gamers. Some of us aren't, but you should be.
Can I ask a gaming question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't play a lot of games, but all these outer space games that you guys are developing, like in the movies, like Guardians of the Galaxy and other movies, they always go to a base where there's a bar and exchange where there's always like trade zones. Is that going to be live in this kind of game too?
Yeah. So there's 2 levels of playing. There's the guys that want to be the active players, going and shooting things and doing everything like that, and then the other players, in my mind, are the economic players, the ones that want to buy and sell and trade. So when it comes to the marketplace, we'll have something that very much reminisces a game called EVE Online, which obviously Odie's game, and he knows all about that side. So when it comes down to an economy, it'd be very much like the stock market that you can get involved with. And if you look into on the website, and you'll see about, especially now we've got the blockchain going on and we've got the planet co-ownership, you'll see that there's all different ways of being part of the game without having to actually even enter in the metaverse and do anything that way. So we're trying to do something that's good for everybody, but the way that it's backed up in the end is by the actual mass market players that come in, that do want to shoot and fly and do all them exciting things. So yeah, something for everybody.
Thank you.
No worries.
So you're gonna play, aren't you, Terry?
I'm thinking about it. I gotta talk to you guys off the screen because I haven't played since Tiger Woods Golf. Okay.
Right on.
Oh, that's a good game.
That was a good game. That's
the last real game I played. Yeah, it's been a long time since I played games.
I got to say one thing, right? Just because you said that, like one time I was in St Andrews in Scotland, and we're just walking past, and we look, and there's this guy like playing golf, and it's like, that's Tiger Woods. But there wasn't big crowds around him or anything. It was just because he was just there. I think he was just doing some warm up session or whatever, and it's like, it really was. It was Tiger Woods just across the road. It was like crazy. Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
Dang. Right on. Okay, well, if we have questions about the latest and greatest, the Memorandum of Understanding, we have an accord that was struck yesterday. Well, I say afternoon because it was afternoon my time, but wherever you were in the world, it was yesterday, right? And so there is an agreement, and it's the big topic of discussion this last day, that Nick Caliani made an agreement with the 4 co-founders of Vulcan Blockchain. That would be Adrian, Damien, Brian, and Jason. And this question came up a while ago, but we weren't on the topic yet. But I just wanted to make sure that Vulcan Money knows we did have this one set aside. So you wanted to ask, what's the latest scam scheme Brian is trying to pull on Nick and Vulcan? Well, yeah. I don't know which way. You can look at it different ways, I guess. But okay, so I'm kind of all over the place because I have different things I want to talk to folks about on that. But I guess maybe I could start out with first. Give me a second here. Maybe I'll bring up the Vulcan agreement. Let's see if I could do that. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's a couple of pages or two. But maybe we can kind of go over some of the highlights, because this is going to be something that there's a lot of emotion in the discords right now. Folks are going, I don't like this deal. Nick said before he presented it yesterday, and if you want to watch him and he actually went over this document in quite a bit of detail. That'll take a while, so we won't do that. But if you want to watch it, it was on the live on our channels yesterday. Feel free to go back and look at it if you want. And I highly recommend looking at it maybe more than once. I have, and I don't have everything straight in my head yet, but I have, for the most part, I get it. So I guess we could also say, we know this is not a legal document, although depending on where you live in the world, there are some places that actually would consider this a legal document. It just depends on your take, but we have a lot of armchair legal eagles out there saying, oh, it's not legal. So I guess it just depends on where you live, but there are places in the US where this actually would be legal, but who knows if it is in Australia. Anyway, I digress. So this MOU, which is a Memorandum of Understanding, specifies the terms and conditions under which the current leadership will transition management authority of Vulcan Blockchain to a decentralized autonomous organization under the leadership of Nick Caliani. For the purpose of clarity, and I'm just going to read this paragraph because I think it actually helps. All token references in this document refer to the native cryptocurrency of the Vulcan blockchain, which is the focus of this memorandum. Parties agree that the blockchain will be rebranded. That answers that question. All references to token mean the primary rebranded, unambiguously new blockchain that will be activated as mainnet release candidate 1, subsequently upgraded to mainnet release candidate 2 and RC3, and finally mainnet, which is production. Regardless of any additional releases, forks, upgrades, modifications, changes, enhancements, all token allocations referenced in this document will be consistently included in the Genesis block of the blockchain, ergo when the blockchain launches. So this is where a lot of folks got a little bit, got their panties in a bunch, and I can't say that I'm entirely happy with it, but again, it is what it is. And I'll explain where I'm coming from with that in a minute. So token allocations, you can see it says the token allocations at Genesis will be as follows. eLabs LLC will get 2 million. And if you, those that don't know, that is a company that is owned and run by Adrian and Damien, 2 of the co-founders. Nick Galliani gets 1.5 million. Brian Legend gets 1.4 million. Jason gets 1.25 million. And the team will get 1.3 million. This is important to know. All of the above tokens will be locked for 6 months, during which time they will vest, but not be transferable. So they can't just dump them when the Genesis happens. That's good, at least. At the end of the 6 months, the vested tokens will be transferable. The balance tokens will vest equally per month for 30 months, 36 months total vesting. On that note, maybe if anybody here on the panel is able to explain this to me, because I'm missing something on this last part. The balance tokens. What are the balance tokens? Because I looked at that over and over yesterday, and I was like, I get the first part, that first sentence or 2 sentences. I get that, you know, the above tokens that are listed up here. It says they're locked for 6 months, during, you know, which time they will vest but not be transferable. I get that. At the end of the 6 months, the vested tokens, which is what they just explained, which is everything up there, will be transferable. But what is the balance tokens? What balance is left over? I mean, am I missing something?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what that means. I think.
Yeah. I didn't have a chance to ask it last night before I had to get off the live when Nick was on there, unfortunately.
You know, the funny part about it is I've read through this several times. I didn't even notice that part. So, yeah.
Yeah. I was just kind of thinking, what's the balance tokens? Because if those tokens, you know, everything up there that we're seeing, these all can be transferred after 6 months of vesting. What do you think?
Are the balance tokens the ones that are going to get the 1.5 million, 1.4 million? Is that the ones that are being invested for the 36 months, whatever it is, the longer period?
That it says all of the above tokens, so that's all these guys, right?
So
it says they're locked, right? They're locked for 6 months, and they have to vest, and they can't transfer them. They can't dump or sell them off. So I'm just kind of wondering, unless I'm missing something, and I'm not the brightest bulb in the room. That's why I surround myself with you guys and everybody in the audience. If anybody in the audience maybe has a take on that, perhaps, you know, that would be great. I'd appreciate any thoughts on that. But yeah, and we did invite Nick to come on, but the poor guy, he's dealing with the flu, and you know, that sucks. So I totally understand, and I hope he takes a little bit of time to, you know, get back on track, because it's no fun working hard when you're already down. It just makes it harder. But anyway, that was kind of something. So I figured I'd mention that. But and then the second item there, it says the Genesis wallet. So Brian's wallet, and we know that's not the only one, but this particular wallet is going to be credited to almost 212,000 tokens at Genesis. This wallet's whitelisted and will never be blacklisted or be prevented from interacting with the blockchain or limited from transacting with tokens. Again, this is not the bet. I mean, it's not the deal that everybody wanted, but Nick, in good faith, did the best freaking negotiation that I think was available to him. And it was a negotiation. Nick mentioned that multiple times yesterday. It was a negotiation. You know, that doesn't mean that everybody gets what they want, right? You have to there's some give and take. So again, I'm not saying that it's the best, but that we could have, it's not awesome, but it's better than nothing. I look at it this way. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not happy with the result, but I'm happy that there is a result. It's one that I can live with, Again, not totally happy, but I can live with it because there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's a small one right now, and we have a chance for that light to, get brighter. And hopefully when we get to, full release, things will start, they'll really be swinging and we'll have some momentum and we can just keep going up, up, up. So that's my hope. We have a comment from Saeed. He says part 2 shows Brian will credit 211,000 tokens. So maybe the balance is the remaining maybe of his total. Yeah, that's better than what I could come up with, Saeed.
Well,
I
think I'm getting a little confused by that, but I thought that the 211,000 were are they going to vest? I thought that was like they completely are not going to, they're whitelisted and they can interact with the project at any given moment. There won't be any kind of vesting or anything like that. I thought
my take on that. Yeah, I don't know. My take anyway, and it might be totally wrong on that Genesis wallet, that number 2. I'm thinking that that's some payoff. Like because both parties had something that they could withhold, right?
Right.
Brian and the team could withhold, well, fine, but you're not getting this. And then Nick can go, well, fine, I got the code and all that stuff. So they both had something the other wanted and they had to negotiate. So I'm taking this as that's kind of a payoff, for lack of a better term. And I'm not trying to say that negatively, but I guess for whatever.
No, I think, we're reading the document. So, we probably need a little bit educated people to read that through. And plus Nick, and, it's one of those things that Nick can clear it up and stuff like that. But I think with Nick right now, I think he's trying to rest a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something from him soon. And there may be a whole, in the next couple of hours or within next day or something, there might be a whole conversation that he's back on an AMA and he's talking, or he's just in the Discord answering every question. We don't know for sure, but these are questions that I'm sure that people will want clarifications on and stuff. And then, a lot of people are going to be like, hey, we don't like this, or, I think people are going to say those things. And if they can be respectful and have regular conversations, hopefully, and maybe Nick comes back and he says, we want to change this. Mm-hmm. We're going to get it re-signed, or we're going to look at different, whatever. But as it stands right now, these are the questions that are important. You just don't know. The whole token allocation thing has got me like, I can't process this. This doesn't, but I don't know. It's kind of still early. I think we've all looked at it and we've talked it through, but
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I'm not the only one that missed one or two things then. So, because that was something coming in though. Navy Mustang, I like this. He says it's simple. A good example is Nick's 1.5 million tokens cannot be touched for 6 months. After 6 months, then you divide his 1.5 million tokens by 30, which is the remaining amount of months, and that will be the amount that he can trade. Okay. I'll buy that.
Yeah, thank you. That sounds right. That sounds right. I think that's the one.
Yeah, I'm not the guy that's good with all that number stuff. So Barry says, instead of getting rid of the criminal and restoring stolen funds, this agreement gives away more. Makes no sense. Why is Nick getting any tokens? He is a paid contractor.
Well, I think he's not after what he's wanting to do. That he will be in charge of the blockchain going forward. So I think that's where the issue, this changes it. His contracting, this means that his contracting will come to an end and he will be in charge of it going in the future. That's why the liability part later on in the contract, that he's basically taking all the liability, right? Am I reading that right?
Yeah. Remember he talked about that last night. Remember that he is now uncomfortably, but happy to do so. And he's taken all the liability from here moving forward. If this thing goes to heck in a handbasket, he's going to have to accept full responsibility. That was another term of this negotiation.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of all that, because then it's like, Kevin's comment here, it kind of makes it feel like,
Yeah, true. Yeah. That I can't say, Kevin, I was thinking about that initially yesterday too. The only thing I can say is I believe that Nick did the best that he could with, the weapons that he had, or the arsenal he had available to him.
Well, I think there's one key thing is that one thing that we didn't know about that he did bring up. So I'm just trying to get through all this, and I'm not, to me, I just don't, it just doesn't feel right. A lot of things I see, but I think Nick announcing that Adrian gave up his keys to Brian pretty much.
Yeah.
So then how's that change the dynamics of what we thought he was negotiating to what the end result was? So
true.
How much did that change everything?
And, I totally get it, because a thought that went through my head when Nick was going over this last night, one of the thoughts that just went right to the front of my mind is, so Brian's getting more money. He already stole money from our community. Now he's getting a payoff. It's kind of like some supervillain in a movie is the way that I'm looking at that, and he gets away with, something bad, something terrible. And then he still holds some powerful cards. And the only way to get rid of him is to pay him off with more money that he doesn't deserve. And
my initial reaction to this whole thing is I'm like, wait a minute, I don't like the token allocation. Why? I don't think anybody should be getting anything. Nick, if he's going to be in charge of it and everything like that, I can see the team. I can see they talking about like what Adrian being a part of the marketing services, stuff like that. Advisors, I don't know, all that stuff. But I don't think any of them should get anything other than Nick going, that's my opinion at first. And then, then it's like, I think I would have been fine with all of this if that was different. And I can't get that out of my head. My whole thing right now is just like, I think this looks reasonable if you just line out all the allocations. But then it's like, I don't know.
So we don't. I'm going to say we don't see Adrian or Demo on the token allocation list, do we? So
E-plays. They get
E-plays.
2 million.
Oh yeah.
So $1 million a piece.
But then, like Adrian, like giving up the key, just that sort of tells me something that he's wanting to try and reverse somehow, on that front.
Yeah.
Odie, all these comments you could just go one after the other because they're all like legit. People they're asking questions and all that stuff. So I didn't start anything. I just figured you'd go.
Yeah, no, right.
If Brian breaks this deal, can they freeze his tokens or coins?
Let's see, wasn't
you know what? I didn't even see Jocko down there. I'm like, that's Jocko's voice.
Yeah.
But where's he coming from? I go, man, is he talking to me in my computer, or is he on the line?
He's haunting you.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid question, and I mean,
because we all know he's going to break the deal. That's just a given. He's a scammer and he's a piece of crap. So when he does that, do we have the control over his wallets to where we can just freeze his coins?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that that's an issue. But one thing that I did think about, and I don't really know a lot about, and I'd like to learn about, is what are the terms and the conditions of governance for the DAO that they speak of in there. So what does that mean? Is that going to be a question that this comes up in the DAO, or is there a, what's the DAO going to be doing? Are they going to do the spending, all that kind of stuff? What's the governance of that entity, basically?
Yeah. So many questions. And Nick, when he was going over this document last night, he answered a lot of good questions, but as you can see, we definitely have more, and they're all valid questions too. Some really great questions coming.
Well, look at this question on the screen. I mean, I didn't even think about this.
I thought this exactly yesterday. As soon as this was coming out, I think I had messaged Odie, but is it been confirmed, or how many nodes does Jason and Brian and those guys have? Like,
the only thing I ever heard was now I don't know this for sure, and I think Kryptonian or NR had said something about the fact that And isn't he verified that Jason bought he personally bought a node, and he's verified with the node through the node chat. So
yeah, the group talked about that too.
Yeah, I talked to Jason, I don't know, about a month ago or something while this stuff is starting to blow up, and on the phone. And during that conversation, that was the first time that I found out that he bought one on the open market. I'd also talked to him way back just before Node Sacrifice. What was that, October 20th, I think, something like that. And I had talked to him at that time about nodes, and he had said at that time he is not buying nodes. He wanted to make sure everybody got one. That from the community, blah, 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 blah. And then when I talked to him about a month ago, he had said that he had actually bought one on the open market, and it was obviously for more than what it was. Now, I don't have any proof. I just have, that's what he had told me. But yeah, that meshes with the conversation that Kryptonian had with him too.
I was wondering, like, what qualifications are, how is he going to pick that large from the community to sit on some of those places on the DAO?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't want to be on it. I'm not that smart to be on it. I just wonder how they're going to qualify who might be eligible to be on it.
So wouldn't you? Yeah. I mean, you're figuring, if you look at this, Brian and Jason are going to have an enormous amount if you think about it. So will they? How are people elected? I mean, does that stand? Does it be like, you're just elected by just the community? Is that going to be something that's a legit vote? Can it be tampered with or anything like that? And then does it go by you get more votes the more tokens you got or coins that you have?
Right, is it a popularity contest, or someone actually knows the workings of the more detailed stuff, like Milky and those guys?
Yeah, and you need to have educated people that would know what these things we're talking about. We just spin in circles. Be like, you have to explain everything that's going on when it's like legitimate expenses or legitimate things that need to happen. But one of the things that I wanted to jump down here to this comment because we were just talking about it. I didn't want to move away from
go ahead.
But yes, Gus, I did star that one because I wanted to go back to it. But that's what I'm saying is if the token allocations were not even in there, I don't think I'd have a problem with any of this. But then you're like, well, what does Brian and Jason them get? And then it's like they shouldn't get anything. But
yeah,
okay, in a real world, I don't know. But Biz says, was it explained why Adrian gave up the key? I apologize, but if it was explained, I have no idea what it was. I don't think that Nick explained it, but
no, he didn't.
That that had happened, and that was in the initial part of when he was talking. That the negotiations changed the dynamics because of that. And I actually think someone said that to him, and he said, "I'm not sure." Like I don't think he didn't say, but he said he thought it was best to do that. So Adrian thought that. So
okay, yeah, I remember Nick said that he brought up the comment that someone had made about Adrian giving his key to BL, but I don't recall him going into detail about it, like why or whatever. Which, yeah, I'm kind of shocked. Why did he give it to him? Why didn't he give it to Nick? Which is what a lot of us are asking. So, yeah.
That felt like a backstabbing moment.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what? I mean, it's hard to say with all this. We don't know. We never really heard much from Adrian, and we don't know what transpired. But it certainly looks like that. And I don't want to, but damn. But
left here are. Yeah.
This C. Rodriguez, this is a person I like to hear from because they're very knowledgeable and stuff. Tons of comments from this individual. So.
Oh, okay. So he says, they say, I see the rebase during the first 6 months can be pulled out, but the actual total of each person cannot be dumped until 36 months has passed.
Now, that is the allocation, but that is not, and C. Rodriguez and other people, you confirm that, but that does not include the 211,295 coins that Brian would get, he can do that at any time,
You
right?
can dump right at Genesis. Yeah, it says that if I go back, it says this wallet is whitelisted and will never be blacklisted or be prevented from interacting with the blockchain or limited from transacting with tokens. So he could play whale games with at least that wallet. But of course, he can set up other wallets. So, yeah. I can't even imagine what it would have been like trying to negotiate that with someone like him. Just not a fun moment. Yeah. Some other kind of important things to know, and this is good. Point number 3, developer invoice. You know, Nick was waiting to get paid $135,000, which is now 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks overdue. And the pending developer invoice of $135,000 will be paid within 24 hours upon the time of all parties signing this document. So that'll be within the next 5 or 6 hours at the latest. That he should have those funds. The Discord ownership, and I'll just paraphrase this. Brian's going to transfer the ownership of the current Vulcan Discord server to Jason. And Jason agrees that if there's no confirmed successful deployment of the blockchain to mainnet within 60 days of the signing of the document, he's going to transfer ownership back to Brian Legend unconditionally. And it goes on and it goes on, and talks about, admin roles, et cetera, et cetera. So that you can read that later. There's not an awful lot more to that. But the ongoing roles, this is definitely worth talking about. The following will be the ongoing roles of the former leadership. Brian Legend, original founder, no involvement, 0, zip. Jason Mathos, advisor, no formal role in the DAO. Adrian, contract agency marketing services, no former role in the DAO. And Damien, advisor, no formal role in the DAO. So it looks like Nick was able to at least get something. Brian has no involvement.
Well, I think the one thing that Nick made very clear is that he didn't want Brian involved in that. I think that he felt okay a little bit with Jason and everything up until recent events and stuff. I'm not sure how that went, but he basically said that he didn't want to be involved in Brian, and I don't even think they could have got to the table with that being something, So, that, I mean, Nick has stood by that. He doesn't want, Brian to have any part of that, but at the same time, it certainly looks like he's going to have a part of it. Did you, I think that there's, did you see the starred comment up there? And then there's a couple in between.
Yeah, I started the one from Rojo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll read this one real quick and then I'll go to that. Antonio says BL vesting terms should be different. Agreed. 18 months that he can't touch them. I wish it was something like that.
I think it's none of it. Honestly, I don't think it should have any, but man, it's like,
well,
hasn't he taken enough?
That's what I'm saying.
It's just a constant leech, man. You got a 200,000 tokens originally that he can do as he wishes to continue to drain everything. And then after, say, 30 months, he can dump and do whatever the hell he chooses to do. And in that meantime, you and I both and everybody on the damn planet knows he probably has 15, 20, 30 nodes that he's going to continue to leech out of this entire community. And I love what Nick has done for the most part, but that blows my mind. It's you're going to bed with the devil each and every single night. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too, Balls Deep, because that's kind of what I was thinking is, going to bed with the devil.
And I guess the only alternative would be somebody who has a big giant checkbook, write a check and give Nick access to all the money he needs and then walk away from those guys.
Yeah, but instead of just taking 900 and some odd thousand that essentially could, I understand that is a lot of money. I'm not discrediting any of that. Instead of that and just basically washing your hands, relatively speaking, and basically creating a community, generating income another way, whether it's super boosters or whatever else, this dude is taking well more than 900 and some odd thousand. Well more. 10x that.
And that's on top of what he's already.
40. I mean, it's unbelievable. And this dude, it blows my mind. And like I said, I understand that whatever's obviously transpired, and obviously we put trust in Nick, and I'm not saying that he's not a good business guy, but man, this is just insane to me. And that's just my two cents, and just going, I don't know whether I'd rather buy a Powerball ticket or be sitting in Brian's seat right now, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I was going to say that, but I was choking down a burger.
What a burger.
Yeah. But how much difference would the money be if we just started the whole new blockchain as opposed to we're getting a portion of this 950, because it's not going to be 950. It goes to liquidity. By the time
it would be about 700,000, right? Because they're a little bit less than that, because it's it would be what 670,000. Or figuring 150,000 expenses for the next 60 days. So
okay, well, in the grand scheme of things, with the blockchain, that's a drop in the bucket.
Right. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I don't know the ins and outs as to what the code is, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I think we all have to understand is that, I'm not trying to defend anybody or anything like that, but Nick in this paper looks like he's putting up a whole lot of liability here. I mean, this is a tough one to swallow. It'd be tough if I was in Nick's position to even announce this, because of the fact that the blowback from the allocations, and then the fact that it's all going to be on my shoulders to deliver this. Then the other part is, I mean, what could stop him from just being like, okay, I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to finish up my contract obligation for whatever they do, whatever they want to do, and then go do my own thing. Would, then he's got to come up with the money. Does he make that? I mean, can he pull that money together? And then you're talking about a community that's already been destroyed, and repeatedly, this is the longest rug I've ever seen. This is a rug pull that's lasted for 2 years, and it's going to continue on. And the way this is set up, looks like it's going to be the same thing. But will Nick be able to? Will he be able to? Raise the funds if he went out on his own? I mean, if you sit there and you think about it, I mean, he's trying. It seems like Nick is trying. It seems like he lost a lot of leverage because of losing the multi-sig part. So it seems like that. Yeah. And then he's also like, I don't know. There's a lot to take in here, and I don't know. I don't like the token allocation and everything like that, but man,
I think Nick is doing. I really do. I think that he's kind of been given crap in a sense. He tried to Yeah, but at the same point in time, I mean, has it been proven that Jason even had that many coins, or even had, not that many, but even had a larger even bag? I mean, basically, you're giving this dude this amount of coins, you're giving this other dude, after he's already sucked everybody dry, this amount of coins, and it's just like, it's just going to be, once again, as Chris just mentioned, the longest rug I've ever seen. You think the chart's going to look sexy at any point in time? No.
I have more respect for people that rug than this, because you rug, you're like, my money's all gone and everything like that, and then you slowly get over it. But every single time that anything, I mean, this whole entire time, even like parts when I wasn't even paying attention, but ever since I've been like paying attention, it seems like every couple months it's like another devastating thing, and it's like, man. But I got to give it to Nick for trying to step up and everything like that. But man, this is another tough one to swallow.
It's bloodletting.
Yeah,
I feel like we're being bloodlet. That's what it's going to end up being.
And I honestly would I would feel like, I don't know what Nick's saying. I know that he wasn't feeling good and everything like that. I don't know what he's thinking and everything. But me, I'm thinking, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. This is these guys. I don't want to have anything at all to do with Brian Legend and Jason. Any of this stuff. And I just think it's like, I don't know.
No, yeah, I know. I'm with you, man.
I apologize. But the other thing is that I also don't want to be like telling the community what they should think. So they people got to make up their own mind, stuff like that. And I don't want to try to sway them one way or the other.
True.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying. So Nick definitely is biting. There's a big chunk he's biting. This is a big task, right? But can Nick produce the goods? Can he actually like produce the blockchain, do everything that he says he wants to do? Well, I believe the answer has got to be 100% yes, or else he would not be putting his name on the line like this, right? So I try and look at the motivation. What is the motivation from Nick to do what he's doing? He's a good businessman, right? He's done a lot of things over the years. And so is it purely business? I don't think it's purely business. I think he feels like there's a community side to what he's doing. Is he stretching too far? I don't know. Has he had quite a bit of money in company wise for different aspects? He's been very transparent about that. He released documents showing exactly where money's gone, and there is a lot of it, right? Granted, there's a lot there. Is he a good businessman? So, sorry, I'm just having a little vent. But is he a good businessman in that he sees there's more money to be there, and he can bring it into his business and make more money? Well, I know it sounds a bit weird, but at this point in time, the easiest option for Nick would have been to let it go to the wall, and it's like, well, I've delivered everything I need to deliver, and it just didn't happen. I can walk away, right? So I don't think he's taking the easy option here in what he's doing, but he's not going to do it in a way where it's bound to fail. Now, if he does, then he's an incredible businessman, you know, in that you can work on a project, make sure that you get a lot of money for the contracts, and you know, one thing as a community, right? Because Nick says it's the community project now, right? This is a community project. Well, within the community, there are developers, there are people that know all about the development process, and as a community, we need to be able to. I'm not saying look at source code, look at Git repositories, but we need an element within the community that it's treated like a business, that it isn't just 100% that we trust everything that's happening within Nick's business. He's been happy and open to be transparent to everything that he's putting on the table. And I think going forward, this should extend into the business realms, right? So we're talking that individuals in the community can actually be part of the internal auditing as a community, that we know that certain things are being done. I hope I'm making sense on this one, but just from a reassurance point of view from the community. And I think if there's certain targets that are hit, and we're talking about being able to release versions of LiveNet that will be refined, then this is going to be the reassurance that we need going forward, you know. But all I'm saying is that it's like going to church, right? You've got the guy at the front preaching. At the moment, Nick is the new guy at the front preaching, and our job isn't to go yeah and just trust absolutely everything. There's not a problem with questioning decisions. There is not a problem looking at this document and going, well, you know what, I like that, but I don't like that. And I think it's good for us to be able to be open and mature and say, look, you know, we like that, but we don't like that. We need more detail on that. You know, and this is what I'm talking about, like the business practices as we go forward, right? So the way it stands right now, as far as I can see, and this is me, an outsider, I'm nothing to do with the inside story of anything going on, but from an outside point of view, it's definitely 100% mismanagement that has happened to allow it to get to this stage. You know, and I mean that with a lot of people there. I think things got too big too quick, and then they're building a blockchain, and then suddenly it's all hell breaks loose. But I think along the way, I know we've got people like Nacho, he's a technical guy. There should have been more checks in place along the way that was visible to us right now. So what I'm saying is, going forward, let's make sure them checks are in place for us, because now it's becoming the community project. So as a community, if we have them checks in place, that we're happy with progress, we're happy with money that's continues to go to Nick and the development that's going there. And I have no problem with that, because we need development to be done. We need the marketing. We need everything, all the aspects. It's a business, right? But we need the checks in place as a community to know and understand why this is required. And it's difficult, we don't want to be going back over old news and going like, well, what's been done so far, right? There's a certain amount of trust that we have to put that yes, we're on the verge of being able to launch, and that the proof will be in the pudding on that front. But let's have the checks in place going forward. Okay, I've finished. Thank you.
No, man. No, I appreciate your thoughts, because everybody up here is saying how they feel about this, and folks in the audience are obviously saying how they feel, and I think we're all kind of reflecting on each other. There's a lot of emotion going on right now, and this community, unfortunately, has had to go through a lot over the last almost 2 years. We've gone through way too much. It's kind of like family drama during the holidays season, and you dread it. You don't want to deal with it, but you deal with it. But it feels like we've been going through it repeatedly. It's like we get to this high, and then goes off a cliff, and then gets back up, and it goes off a cliff, and it's happened too many times. And this is the gift that's going to keep giving that we don't want. This is a holiday that's never ending. And so, Nick did mention, and again, if you didn't get a chance to see the live yesterday, Nick did mention last night on the live that this is just a proposal, for how to handle this. If the community wants something different, he says, I'm all for it. Give me solutions, give me ideas. We can talk about it. As you know, he's really open. He definitely did not tout that, I just did this great deal and blah, blah. He was quite the opposite. He said, nobody's going to be happy with this 100%, not even close.
You're right. He did say that.
I did. Yeah, he did. He said, I did what I could and with what I had. And, if the community doesn't like it and rejects it as a whole, then come up with a better solution or another solution, and he's all ears. So I do like that. I can't remember which comment it was earlier before I get to this one, but someone had said, hey, why can't we get Nick in here? And Nick has the invite link. It was sent to him, but he's dealing with the flu. So, it's understandable that he wouldn't be able to join us. So I hope he's, recovering. But yes, he did get the invite for the link yesterday, so he's aware. But anyway, Tartan Madman says that Chris, I think that BL and Plan B founder tokens should be vested for 5 years minimum, as they have given nothing and taken everything from the community. Tartan, I couldn't agree with you more, man. Yeah, I mean, if they have to have tokens, I guess I'll preface it with that, because I don't like it any more than Balls Deep or anybody else. I don't think they should have anything, but because of this, if this is the deal we move forward with, then at least at the minimum, I like this comment. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, why are they even saying Plan B is a founder of? And what I mean by that is like acting like he's made some revolutionary thing. And in reality, unfortunately, it sounds, Brian has in a sense made that, and he started with Seifu, and then it translated into Vulcan. But in my personal opinion, Brian at least has put 90% of the headaches upon everybody, but at least had that original thought process, where Plan B essentially is getting 95% of the tokens that Brian is getting in this little allocation thing, and has done 1/10 of things, if that makes sense.
We have an announcement from Plan B. Can you read that, Odie? You just want to read it?
Yeah, I have it on my left screen. But yeah, I'd be glad to.
I went full screen so everybody could see it. So.
That's better. I'll see if I can I get rid of.
That's from Nick, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. He just posted it a few minutes ago.
So I'd be glad to read it. So just a couple minutes ago, Nick posted, I apologize for my slow response here, but my flu has become worse. And also, yes, to one of the posts, my mother did die of cancer, but a few years ago. With that out of the way, let's look at the situation. I negotiated in good faith a solution that I felt moves this community forward with no involvement of BL in the future. In the process, I signed for and took on massive liability. If you don't see how big this risk is, then I'm sorry, you have not read or understood the deal. It appears that no one is happy with the solution, largely because of the token allocation. This is not new news in aggregate, just the detail. In my first presentation, you can see the tokenomics, cap table slides, where there is a row for team / example for 7.5 million tokens. Anyway, it seems like I have 3 options now. 1, somehow complete the work I was contracted to do, launch a Vulkan mainnet with DEX and Bridge and walk away. 2, just hand the source code to someone now and walk away and take on the risk of having my entire life destroyed. 3, keep accepting the ire of the community, be a completely ineffective leader, and still try to create a successful outcome. It doesn't appear there is any winning scenario. People are so empathic that they don't want BL to benefit in any way anymore, that they are willing to lose their entire investment in the process. I can understand the intensity of this form of thinking as a human, but as a pragmatic business person, I know that most deals are compromises, as this is one. Here's the deal. I am not BL. I work by consensus and collaboration. I can't operate with a majority of people hating me. In every community that I am a leader, I am loved and respected because of my values and my principles. That appears not to be the case here. If a majority of the people in the community think I negotiated a bad deal or worse, question my integrity, then I don't want to be here. I will deliver on the work I was contracted to do and move on. So if you really hate this deal and want me out, continue to signal that. If you want the vision of a new blockchain to see the light of day and accept the admittedly imperfect deal, then I can signal that too. I'll do whatever the community wants. Thank you, Nick. Yeah. Again, I will say my personal feelings. Yeah, I'm not happy with, the deal. Nick had mentioned that at the beginning when he was talking about it yesterday, but it's something. Personally, I'd rather, and again, this doesn't excuse BL and the team and everything that's brought us to this point, right? That should go without saying. I'm not happy, but I'll again say what I said before. I can live with this deal because I don't see another one, and I'd rather move forward. I'll give you an example. Couple 5-6 years ago, I was on American Ninja Warrior and in Los Angeles competing. And due to a poorly set up obstacle, I ended up going off the course. I fell 8 feet directly onto the concrete on my tailbone, square on my tailbone, took the full impact, broke my tailbone, broke a knuckle in my left hand, tore ligaments in my left hand requiring surgeries, and sprained my ankle. And I was off work for 6 months, and I was in some dark places for a while. And I'm equating this to, we've gone through a lot of crap in this community, ups and downs, ups and downs. I was in a down for a very long time. I had 2 choices. I could either be bitter and just keep going, or I could have a solution, which was go through physical therapy, get myself back to health, and come back bigger and better than last time. And I did. And it was a very difficult road. We have a difficult road here, where, a lot of crap has happened and there's more crap. But I, for one, at least, I vote for Nick. I think that this is the best chance that we have of being able to make something out of this and move forward. I mean, no 2 ways about it. Yeah, it sucks that BL and the team are still going to be tied to this project in one way or another. But I personally, this is just my thoughts, take it or leave it. But this is something. I couldn't negotiate a deal or any kind of deal. I don't have the power to do that. So I don't know what you guys think, but that's where I'm at. I'd rather have 100% of something than 100% of nothing. So that's where I'm at.
Well,
I think the big thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
There you have it. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, I understand what he's saying, and I get I even obviously respect the heck out of Odie and your thoughts too. I just think a huge sigh of relief for a lot of people in the community, and maybe I'm just thinking, I'm not even selfishly, because my back couldn't even hold a candle to any else, but if the vesting period for those two individuals I've spoken about was considerably longer, so therefore the community didn't feel like there was constant dumping or draining of liquidity on a consistent basis, I think would really, really help out a lot of people. And what I mean by that is instead of being 36 months, be significantly longer. So then every month it's a lot easier to bounce back from what it is obviously going to be inevitable. And so that's just my 2 cents after hearing what Nick had to say in that article.
Yeah.
On the message.
Any other thoughts? Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm just thinking because just before like Nick posted that, or he posted it, he was actually typing it out as I was speaking about Nick and the way he does business, and I got to say, like, anything that I'm saying is just showing that Nick is a businessman, and he wants to treat this in my mind, he wants to treat this like business, but it does come with the emotion. It comes with attachments. The options that he's giving here, right? So he could finish the work, hand it over, and then what happens then, right? So number 2, just hand over the source code as it is, and and let somebody else finish it. What happens then? And then, so anyway, so what I'm saying is, a business, it's not about having the code. It's not. I know it sounds weird. It's not about having the code for launching a blockchain. This is all part of the business. Of course, we need the code to launch the blockchain. We need the tokens. We need the tokenomics. We need everything about it. The thing that we need the most right now is the leadership, right? So we have to ask the question, is Nick giving us the leadership to actually see the project through? And we're talking about a blockchain, right? Has he got the experience and knowledge to do this? Well, I think he does, right? And he's going through some stormy water at the moment, and I don't think it was easy being in a 5-hour meeting and coming to the agreement that he has come to. Now, I don't know if there's movement to be able to change things and do whatever. It may have been difficult enough to get this agreement in the first place, but what's required, right? What's required is that we get a blockchain and we get a team that are together and going in the right direction to actually make it happen, right? So, like I say, it's not about having the code. Of course it is. It's about having them people in the right place. So what happens now if Nick does walk away, he hands the code over, they finish the code, they release version 1, he fulfills his contract and walks away. Who's gonna do it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Who's gonna do it? I think the project just sort of disappears, and all that's left for it is a pile of code, and so
a lot of vapor.
So right now it's not that as a community we're cornered. It feels like we're cornered, right? We've invested like money both into Vulcan and to Uxie, and the thing is, it does feel like you're cornered because you think, well, what are the options, right? So Nick, right now, he is giving us the option, but he's doing it as a businessman, right? He's got his name, his reputation that he's built up over many years, and he doesn't want to lose that reputation. He will be looking at this as a challenge, and the challenge will be to make a success out of everything that's gone on now. And if I know Nick from what I've seen for some things that he's done before, and he likes the creative side as well, he's willing to take the challenge, but he does need a community behind him. And this is what's difficult at the moment, because there are a lot of it's not easy there's not one right decision. That's what I'm saying. every decision comes with some wrong bits to it. Even the decision for Nick to do it, there's some wrong bits to it, but it's mainly probably the right decision, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. A lot of great comments and questions that we've been bringing up while Steve was sharing his thoughts. And, everybody's entitled to what they feel. I'm certainly going to be the last person to say, hey, no, that ain't right. Because, everybody's looking at this from a slightly different point of view. We all have different experiences that bring us to go, well, we should have done this, or Nick should have done that, or, why didn't Nick present it to the community before he agreed to sign it, etc. There's a whole lot of stuff. I'm of the mind that I would like us just to hurry up and move on. I have a pretty large sum of money in this thing, and I don't like, the fact that Brian is still attached to it, and that there were some concessions that I don't like, but I would like this thing to move on. There are folks that have said, hey, well, why don't we just raise the money ourselves, et cetera. Well, easier said than done. I mean, not that it can't be done. From my understanding, Nick is quite the mammer jammer in the raising venture capital space, but that has its own set of risks. I would like Chris said, I mean, I would like nothing more than us to be able to have some, whale investors to come in and give us some VC, more than we need to get going. And we could just separate ourselves. And then that's the end of that. Our ties to Brian and such is all, severed. I'd love that. But I don't know. I personally don't know the first thing about doing that.
Yeah.
And does everybody want, I mean, so there's pluses and minuses, right? So the plus is we get VC and we can get rid of these clowns, right? It's gone. It's over. The downside is how much longer is that going to take? Because something that's on the community's collective mind, obviously, is we want this thing to launch. It was supposed to launch in January, then it was going to launch in March, then it was going to launch in June, and then it was going to, it just keeps getting pushed out. How much more patience do you have? I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. I'm just trying to, provoke a thought process for folks to kind of revisit that. How much longer do you want this to take? Because we can either launch in the next couple of weeks or so with release candidate 1 and start that road, and take the the deal that we have, which a lot of folks have obviously sounded off. I'm not happy about it, but it's either that we really have to. I don't know. I see only two choices: go with what we have, which ain't perfect, or okay, let's take our chances and go with plan. A backup plan. I won't say plan B. A backup plan, right? They both have risks associated with them, but how long do we want to wait? That's just something I'm thinking about. I don't know. The world ain't perfect, and none of this is for sure. Navy Mustang says Nick's motivation is the 1.5 million tokens. I don't know if I entirely.
Yeah, but how much money are we going to lose?
Go ahead.
I think.
Go ahead, Jacob. We heard you start.
Jacob, how much money are we going to lose with Brian letting trading that wallet that he has?
True, that's a good question. But the other side of that is just popped into my head. So let's say that we separate into a new blockchain, right? Have a totally different thing, and we've severed ties. Nothing's going to stop him from creating wallets and playing around with the new blockchain, right? He wouldn't be able to keep. He wouldn't get any money. The vested tokens would be useless because that blockchain would not finish. But I don't know. I'm just throwing out things that come into my head. Not perfect, but it's a good question though, Jaco. Absolutely.
It's still going to be.
We need to probably ramp it up on the comments and questions stuff. We're getting a ton of them, and we're spending a lot of time on each one.
Yeah. Okay. If the blockchain development was paid for by the community's money, then why can Brian and Jason claim ownership for it if they didn't use their money to pay for it? Yeah. That's a very reasonable question.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. J-Mass says Nick's 135K gone in the next few hours.
Oh, I don't think that.
Did I miss one?
I think you've already got those. Oh, maybe you didn't. I'm sorry.
I don't think I got this one. I don't think so.
There's one right above it that I did not see.
Oh, did I? Well, I got the one from Biz Entertainment, if that's the one you're talking about. I put that up a little while ago.
Oh, wow. I got a bunch of them up there. I'm sorry. I think you got that one. Then,
okay, sorry about that.
How about this one? You got this?
Dad bod, no. No, actually, yeah, I brought that up earlier.
Okay. All right, do you have this one?
Let's see, Chris. Nick is trying to do what exactly? He's allocating so many funds. Why are you guys not questioning the team allocation, which contains millions of dollars? Oh, I question it, but
I think someone doesn't realize that.
Oh, here, let me.
Yeah.
There. Oh. I'm trying to mute. There we go. That should do it. Yeah, but I have to go for this one, Darwin. I go back to what I just said a minute ago. So I question a lot of this stuff, but I want this thing to happen. So, and then he goes on to say, also, nobody's questioning the vesting periods for Brian's 7 million coins. I think we kind of touched on that. None of us agrees with. We all would like it to be a lot longer. Yeah, like 5 years. That works for me.
But can I say one thing? It's like when you talk about the coins, they're only going to be worth something if the actual blockchain launches and is successful. So there's quite a bit in this as well.
Yeah. This comment from Miriam says it's been real rough losing so much funds. I hope we will all make it at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely all want to make it at the end. Now, we all want to go about it a slightly different way, and everybody's very valid the way they feel. Yeah. I hope that something comes out of this, something good for all of us. It sucks that so many of us have lost so much money, and would like to break even at this point. Anything beyond that is icing on the cake. Yeah. Chris says, Nick should have had this in place before taking over, to be honest. We can move forward now at least. There you go.
I honestly thought that this was done. Because I thought that even Jason had said that if Nick got the votes, we'd add him to the multi-sig and all that kind of stuff. And we were going, but then it was like, yeah.
But then that changed. Yeah. And we were also told that Brian was out, which he obviously was not in the disc, out of the investment, blah, blah, blah.
Did you get Biz Entertainment and Sky's message up there? It's still.
Yeah, I had shown it earlier, but while Steve was talking, I showed a couple of them. But yeah, from Nick's making mention before leaving last night, targeting Creative Commons license model, gave a feeling that he has some big to make. Just require the blockchain to launch as a proof of concept. Is this referring to the Creative Commons model that he was talking about with the art?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember the name of that project. With that art project that he has, am I tracking right, Biz? Let me know, because I think that's what you're talking about. Pride says, I feel like they're rushing to get the blockchain done, but do you guys think it will be successful at this point? So much going on. Yeah, I feel like there's rushing, but Pride. I mean, good point. So we have on the one hand, it's been taking forever, right? This is like the slow. It's almost felt like a slow death, right, for so long, and with no end in sight. And now we have the opposite, where we have somebody that says that we can do this, we can get it done, right? May not be perfect in the way we all want it, but I can get it done. But it's up to you guys if you want me. Nick said, I'll do whatever the community wants. So I guess folks have to think about, what do you want? What would you like to do? Would you like a chance for your money to eventually, to get your money back, hopefully, but it might take a while? Or do we want to take our chances and go a different way? That might be the same or even higher risk. So something to think about. Good comment, Pride. C. Rodriguez, excuse me. The document has been signed by everyone, so I don't see BL and Jason being open to changing anything that affects them. Yeah? Anybody else have thoughts on that?
Well, the only option is a new document. That's the only option, but it may be a bridge too far.
Considering what it took to get the first one.
It took quite a bit, didn't it?
It might be the bridge over the River Kwai.
It's not gonna matter either way because
he's gonna.
It's not gonna matter either way because Brad's gonna break the deal anyway.
Yeah. So, true enough. Viking says the agreement is an MOU, which is Memorandum of Understanding. This would be torn apart by any competent lawyer. The community is being treated as mugs again. Smoke and mirrors. Well, I deal with MOUs all the time at my work, but that's because I'm in a union, and so we have a union contract, and then we have MOUs when we decide and vote and bring something. It's like saying an amendment, but Nick did touch on this last night, if I'm not mistaken. He had said that, he knows it's not a legal document, and going to legal, there would be a whole bunch of other complications in the time frame that we're trying to get this done. You have jurisdictions in Australia, the United States, and who knows, you have international law possibly. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't pretend to know anything about the law. But I can just say that he did address that. He's like, well, he did what he thought was right. And maybe it would have been better with a lawyer, but that would have taken a long time. So valid question and comment, Viking, but that's kind of where my thought process is anyway. Definitely not a legal document, but it's a handshake on paper. That's the best that we were able to get. So Nick says he's open to ideas, but if folks can at least, be civil with what their comments are in Discord about this. I realize folks are pissed. I'm pissed. A lot of people are pissed. This is not what we wanted, right? We wanted sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops. That's what I like, but it's not happening on this one. So just kind of think about what it is that really. What's your end goal and how do you want to get there? What are you willing? We're going to have to give up something, unfortunately, which totally sucks, right? It sucks. No two ways about it.
Darwin, I started this comment, but Darwin, don't put a cuss word in there. We're crazy. But I started this because I wanted to talk about it because, I guess is that discussion about gaslighting, like what Nick posted, thinking it's gaslighting, but I didn't take it really as gaslighting. I took it more as like. Yeah, just telling the community how it is. I mean, we could talk about the deal. Maybe we change it. Maybe we do something. But I mean, he's got to go back to Brian. Brian's got to accept it. If the deal doesn't work and everything like that, I mean, he can finish the blockchain and then he can move on. I didn't think that it was gaslight. I thought it was more along the lines of, hey, if you don't want to go with what Nick was wanting to do, but.
Yeah, and Kryptonian says, the unfortunate truth, Nick went into that negotiation with no leverage, outnumbered, and handicapped. Pretty much.
Well, up until the point when, I mean, I didn't know about Adrian giving the key to Brian, so.
Yeah. That's quite the, that is quite the shock, and that's just kind of adding insult to injury when we heard about that. Kelly Productions says, it looks like the community, at least in the Discord, are still going with Nick. Okay. So, Kryptonian goes on to say, the fact that we have any agreement at all is surprising. Between now and mainnet, BL can kill it. He probably will. I don't know. Would he kill it because he'd be killing his own bags that has our money? Thank you so much. Not really, right?
Yeah, so, that's the weird dichotomy, isn't it? It's like we want him to have something in it because then he'll want it to be successful. But if it's successful, he's going to be wanting to take out of it as well, So you can't leave him with nothing in it because then there's nothing. You know what I mean? It's like there's got to be some interest in it for it to be successful. And right now, I guess that's what Nick wants. Nick needs people behind him that want it to be successful, and we all want it to be successful because that's the best result for everybody, right? Including BL.
Yeah. Pride says, Plan B finally blew my socks off with these token allocations. I remember, Pride, you've been saying all these months, that didn't blow my socks off when Jason would reveal something. Pride's been a tough customer. Finally got him.
Yeah, nice one, Pride.
Bad. Iconic says, if Brian breaks the agreement, then why does the rest have to adhere to it anyways? Yeah, it's a very valid question. Yeah. Let's see if we have any others real quick. I think we'll probably start wrapping it up here in the next 5 to 10 at the most. Let's see here. We have Charlius. Hopefully I said that right. Why allocate only to the team and developers? At this point, we all deserve a plus allocation of coins. You got that right.
That's an interesting one. Interesting.
We were sold a package that definitely kept changing. And we'd have BL going, okay, this is the last change. This is it. And then 10 minutes later, 2 minutes later, 2 hours later, oh, wait, I'm changing it again. And this is the final change. And then again and again and again. I mean, we invested in this blockchain and we're not told that we were going to be vesting. And then all of our funds got locked up out of nowhere with no input from us or when we had no power, right? Because he was holding all the keys. And yeah, we got screwed. Those that were able to buy full nodes, right? That was supposed to be something great, and then the deal changed, and it changed again. And the nodes are the dang blockchain. you don't have full nodes running, and light nodes in this case. You don't have a freaking blockchain. And right now, Nick's working on it. So if you're watching, Nick, we know that you're working on it, and we appreciate it. But the deal that we've had up till now, or that the last change is we might not even make enough money to put our nodes online because of how much it'll cost to run them on a monthly basis with the virtual machine. So, Nick's working on that too. But yeah, we were not told that our funds were going to be hostage. We weren't told we were going to be vested. And that might have changed things if we had known about that in October, November, and December, right? No. Just keep bringing your money in. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And we weren't told, right? And we weren't told until after they had our invested money, which, pisses everybody off, me included. That is not cool. You change the deal and you change it again and you change it again and again. And every time it was hiding behind this excuse or that excuse. Oh, well, we don't have enough. We're not going to have enough liquidity. So we have to hold your funds hostage. Well, fool, you didn't tell me that before I went ahead and sent it. You should have said that first. Hey, you're going to be, if you do this, it's going to be vested. And that would have been different then. But there might have been folks that would have still invested. I might have invested, maybe not the same amount. But you know what I mean? Yeah, I did not, none of us were told we were going to be contributing to the liquidity pool and we would have no way of pulling our funds out. And then we got the vesting schedule, which wasn't great. And then it got changed again and hacked down so far, 0.25%. Man, that's not even worth trying to pull out. Might as well wait until the 18 months, right? And this is not against Nick. This is before Nick even had any hand in that, right? This was changed by Brian and the team, this 0.25%. Man, I don't wake up for 0.25%. You got to be kidding me. So, a lot of things have changed. And yeah, we got crapped on, all of us. And I hope that folks know that, yeah, I totally, yeah, I want this thing to succeed. I think we have a shot. So let's see if there's any other questions perhaps that we can bring up here before we wrap it up. Billy. Well, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. When we wrap it up, just a couple of things I want to say.
Yes, okay. Sure, you bet, man. Billy says the community is the only one that kept giving something up. True enough. While everyone else keeps getting paid from our money, that is getting less and less by the week. Couldn't have said it better, Billy. Yeah, absolutely. Give me a paperclip, pour lemon juice, gasoline, and acetone on it while you're at it, and then stitch me without any painkillers. Well, let's see. We have a question real quick from Ty. When we have a DAO, the community can put up vote to turn off their wallets. Well, I think we can put up a vote for pretty much anything, can't we? Once we're an established DAO, which is what Nick is pushing for. Am I missing anything? I've only been part of one DAO, so I'm not an expert on that. What do you think? Anybody?
I don't know that. I don't know that answer.
Yeah. I don't have any. I was in Time Wonderland. That lasted.
Yeah. And I'm kind of into this one. So now we're even going back to this is my point. It's like now we're actually treating Nick like he's the one that stole and did everything. Brian gets everything that he wants. Now we're back to the YouTubers are the fault, and we did it. Man, I hardly remember being around Brian or anything like that when I was on YouTube and everything. But so now it's all back to this, and all the blame and all the hate is going towards everybody else. I mean, Nick didn't create this. I mean, I don't think it's a good deal. I'm not, but
no.
But Nick didn't create this, and I don't see how any of this. I mean, there's so much, some of the comments and everything like that, And then now we're saying he's gaslighting people. Really, honestly, I mean, he should just finish what is owed on his contract and go away. I mean, why? They're even complaining about him getting too much tokens and stuff. All right. I mean, if it's not right, I mean, and then now it's all back to the YouTubers. That's right. I mean, we all did that. We co-signed on it. We did that. Yes, it's all our fault. All of us, everything like that. I hardly remember even talking to Brian or even having any kind of indication with him. But yeah, I'll take the blame for all that. I'll take it all. And then if Nick ends up going, I mean, he's putting up all this liability. That's the only problem I have. I don't like the deal. I don't like any of it, and I'd like to see it all gone. And I don't want to see them get anything. But to be like going after Nick, they are going after Nick like Nick is a criminal, dude. That's I keep reading these comments in here, and they're like, and the funny part about it is hardly anybody's talking about Brian. And Brian's sitting over there like, look, the YouTuber's even at fault now. Nick's the problem, with the investigation that like Bix and all of them were doing. And it always seems like Brian does something and everybody else takes the collateral damage from it. And it still keeps going on.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that Brian's the bad guy. And they're like, we don't want to fight Brian, but then they just go after everybody else. So yeah, I guess I'm not going to, I wasn't a part of really anything Brian was doing. And when that stuff was going on there, I was like, man, who's manipulating the chart? And I find it's Brian and everything. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take the blame though. I'm at fault. I should have said something sooner. I was wrong and everything like that. I'll take that blame. But still, we're talking about who actually did it. They don't stick with the blame there. I mean, Nick didn't create this mess. I didn't create this mess. None of us did. But it's like everybody else pays with it by these words from the community. One group's yelling at this group. And it's like, who are you yelling at? The only person that we should be upset with is Brian. And quite a bit with Jason. But
I'll add to that. We helped create that monster.
Well, no. WTF game. He says, I'm sorry, but he says he's not going after Nick. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that, the comment about this being the YouTubers and stuff. And it's like, okay, I think that there's a whole lot of blame to go around and everything like that. A lot of people were oblivious to a lot of that stuff, or a lot of people just ignored it. A lot of people knew about it and didn't say anything. But okay, we have gone through that so much before. We know where the blame lies. And when this was going on and when Nick was proposing, we were actually talking about it. Everything was good. And then a monkey wrench got thrown into that when Plan B gives him back the Discord and Brian's back to save the day. So it's like, okay, here we go again. So the same problem. If Brian would have never done what he did, we wouldn't be even talking about this stuff. We'd all be like meeting up in Vegas and we'd all be hanging out. But it's always everybody else is getting booted, and like they're taking the blame. It's like everybody else's fault but the same guy. I know you're not directed at Nick or whatever, or me or certain people, but that's what the comments generally end up being. They devolve into the fact that Well, if you didn't do this, okay, you're right. I woke up and made sure I'd call Brian and said, Brian, make sure you rip off everybody. Nobody was wanting that. None of these people. Some of these people are bad people, period. But some of them are legitimate. And I know that you're get upset, but when you start slinging daggers at everybody else, nothing's going to get accomplished. And for me, you can get mad. You can get mad at me, but I support Nick, and I hope that whatever Nick decides, that I hope that I remain friends with Nick, and well, maybe not friends, but acquaintances with Nick, and I hope we have a good relationship going into future, whatever he plans on doing. But I will tell him, as a friend or acquaintance or whatever, or knowing Nick, this is a bad deal, Nick. This is a bad deal. I don't like it at all. But you got to do your thing. I'm gonna, I'll be there if you need me, but I don't like it. And please, people, the person that did this is Brian. That's where everybody should be focusing on. Yeah, tell them the things that you don't like or whatever, but at the same time, it's Brian's fault, man. Focus it on him. And Nick's trying to figure something out. I don't like it at all. But if you got something better, let's talk to him about it. See if we can help something out. But and I don't mean to call you out, WTF Gaming, but I mean I just saw the comment and I was like, it's on the point that I was saying. We're blaming everybody else but the real guy.
Well, and I do take exception to this comment. WTF, you're certainly welcome to feel how you feel, but you're giving us way too much credit. First, we didn't create anything. Brian created himself, and if you've been here since the beginning or for any amount of appreciable time, you would have had a hand in it too. Everybody had a hand in it, if you want to say it that way. Personally, I say nobody had a hand in it. Brian is a person, and he did what he was doing. You go on to say that behind closed doors. What effing closed doors do you know about that I don't know about? Because there's no closed doors. I didn't hang out with Brian, and he never came onto one of my lives. He's never been on any of my lives. I don't know what you're talking about because I don't even have a direct line to him. I don't have his phone number. I don't know how to get a hold of him on anything. I've never been able to talk to him other than one time he sent me a message thanking me for this and that was it. But Brian and I don't talk. I don't know of anybody else except for maybe Prado. Prado was able to talk to him directly and had a direct line, and maybe still does. I don't know how their relationship is anymore.
WTF, he brings up this comment about that, and then he also says, and I do know that he's been banned. I mean, he's been talking about how bad Brian is and everything like that. Okay. I really don't want anybody to focus on him because he was talking about. But my whole point was he's frustrated. He's upset. He's mad about it. He just thinks it's all big, and where a lot of people agree with him, and I'm just saying that, look, whatever we start thinking, whatever we get upset about, it just goes back to Brian. Just, and I mean, I see these comments in the Discords back and forth, and people have really great ideas, but the other one won't listen because they're mad about this, mad about that. And, it's honestly, they're mad about Brian. They're just taking it out on each other.
So, we can be more productive by not going this route.
Right. And it's very sensitive because they were expecting better news from the deal last night and everything like that. And I understand that, but everybody needs to just take a step back and try to contribute in some kind of way that, that we can move forward and try to make it better. If we can't, we don't need this stress. Stop, like I'm saying, stop the rug pull now. End it. Or change it or something, But this is, like I said, this is like the longest rug pull I've ever seen.
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah.
So I think I was just going to say one thing. I think that the journey and the vision and, for having ultimately a blockchain at the end was the right vision because obviously we all clung onto it and not clung onto it. We all bought into it and we sacrificed. We did everything that we did. And ultimately it comes down to one thing. We want a blockchain. What's the most important thing right now? A blockchain, because that's the end goal. That was the end goal that we bought into months and months ago. So yeah, whichever way it works out, if we end up with a blockchain that's successful, then we've done it. Whichever way that needs to work out, and Nick's there. He wants to do what he wants to do. and it's our decision whether to support him or it happens in a different way, and like Chris says, or it's like, right, we just all accept that we've lost everything and walk away and that's it, so it's a tough decision, it's a tough one, but right now there's still the glimmer of hope that there's something that can come out of this, and that's what I'm holding on to. I'd like to see a blockchain. That would be really good, and if it's a creative blockchain, even better.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, make sure that you go into the new name Discord, and I believe it's a pinned message. I'm referencing the document for the Vulcan agreement. Yeah, if you go into the new name Discord, go into the general chat and go to pinned messages. It's second from the top. It has the tiny URL. I'll just tell you right now, it's tinyurl.com/Vulcan-MOU. Mike Oscar Uniform. And it'll go to a Dropbox. You can download and look at the Vulcan Agreement PDF that we had up a little earlier. And I highly recommend, I really do. I know not everybody's going to listen to me, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Do your own research. Read this document yourself. Don't go off of what other people are saying, and because you're going to get it out of context. You really will. You're going to hear a snippet of it here, and people will talk about it, and then a snippet there. Read the whole document. I've read it twice, and I still need to reread it because I don't. There's a few things that I need. It's a lot of information, and I have to let it sink in. A lot of folks are doing that. So do yourself a favor. Don't take other people's information. Do it yourself. That's just me. So let's go around real quick. Balls Deep, you want to lead off? You have any final thoughts for the community or anything else?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's kind of like what you said a bit ago, 100% of nothing is way worse than, 1% of something, if that makes sense. So with that being said, obviously I have my frustrations and I've kind of said them a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think we've all been in this crazy ride for so long that I think it would be to see the finish line essentially near, no matter how good or bad it may be, or at least what everybody's perception of how good or bad it may be, I think needs to definitely be at the front of everybody's thoughts and emotions and those kind of things. And more as I'm continuing, I've learned slowly and with everybody's kind of interests as well, in the gaming world. I'm with Steve and in Cosmic Force, as well as Nick's in the art world. I'm neither of those, but I can guarantee, I know personally that is an enormous thing in those worlds. So if that can monetarily make my life better, then I think that ultimately this is the best decision for this to plant this seed and watch it hopefully grow into that artistic blockchain that I continue to hear about. So, like I said, I said my piece. I'm over it. I got mad, got over it, and that's kind of where I'm at. So,
right on, man. How about you, Jaco? Any final thoughts? Anything you want to get off your chest?
No, not really. I know I normally just say my piece when I think about it. So I'm sure one of you guys will get a phone call and you'll hear me.
Right on, man. Right on. How about you, Steve? Anything else you'd like to throw out there?
No, I think pretty much, totally agree. Like balls deep. It's like we might all have our little rant. We might have our own epic rants every now and again because we all have so much at stake, and basically it's if we can create an artist space, something that's special. But this blockchain has got to be special, right? So we've gone through the pain. We've gone through enough pain. If out the other side something special emerges, then how wonderful would that be? It'd be a good ending to an horror movie. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, right on, man. Chris?
I think that people need to think about a lot of things. Man, I hope we make it through this and everything. Try to be nicer to each other because at the end of the day, I mean, we still got to be civil in some type of way. But, that civility is being lost big time between multiple discords. So hopefully they'll find it and try to just take people's feelings into consideration. That's all I can say.
I agree. We're not saying everybody needs to walk down the street holding hands and singing Kumbaya. But, it would be nice if we would be treating each other more civil. I see it in there too in some of the discords. Some people get really heated and it's not necessary. Would you? I look at it this way, and I certainly am the first person to say I'm not perfect. Talk to my wife, okay? I'm not perfect. I'm just a guy. I'm a dude. And, I try to have a zest for life. I try to enjoy myself. I also like to make money. And, this investment has a chance. Right now, there's a chance, and it's dangling, and it's on a teeter-totter. And I don't know. Everybody has their thoughts on this. Obviously, I'm glad that every single one of you have joined us for this live. It's a good place. Folks can vent. That's fine. And there was some venting. That's fine. No issue with that. I have my thoughts. You've already heard my thoughts if you've been watching up to this point. Maybe you don't agree with me, and that's fine. That's the great thing about this world. We can all have, different opinions. But let's just keep it civil. Treat each other with some kindness, and everybody it's not the best deal we could have got. Or I'll rephrase that. It's not the best deal. It appears it might be the best deal we were able to get. And again, I'll reiterate, Nick said this before. He said it last night on the live. He said, if you don't like this deal, that's fine. I'm open. I'm transparent. And come up with, give me another solution. So look at it this way, I guess, folks. If you don't like the deal, perhaps you can, in fact, where was it? I saw it was, yes. So Telon in the New Name Discord posted, it was last night, my time, about 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. He said, post your questions for Nick here in a respectful manner, please. And it has a channel for questions for Nick. So actually, you don't need to go to that. You can just go to the New Name Discord, and there's only 3 channels, so it's easy to find. It's questions for Nick. And just, politely ask him questions about it. And Nick is all transparent. That you guys already know this, right? Nick is happy to answer your questions. Just keep it civil. And, put some thought into it if you can, and just ask him. And he said he's more than happy to answer. So we don't have a perfect solution, but we have a solution that is on the table. Perhaps that's the best way I could have said it, right? So think about it. Go to that tiny URL. Link is in the Discord, the New Name Discord, under pinned messages in the general chat, and give it a read. And, any of us are glad to help answer any questions that we can. If we can't answer it ourselves, we'll get somebody that can, or get Nick. So thanks again for your time. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Odie, can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, I'm sorry. I did not see this. I just want to bring this up real quick. I know you wanted to stop.
Please. No, go ahead. I got time.
This was from Garfield. Says, is it a possible option to just let go of the 900,000, be done with them, then the community as one will raise the funds needed, but only go with Nick's plan? Can this be voted upon? I mean, it's not put up here, but I wanted to acknowledge it. He sent it to me a long time ago, and I didn't look at it, so I feel bad. But I mean, I guess that's something to ponder for people. I don't know if that's even an option or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely an option. I think it was also kind of in a similar way brought up last night, but certainly good to bring it up again. That's an idea. It's an idea. So I'm all about solutions. I subscribe to the Nick Caliani school of problem solving. I like that. So yeah, if you have a better solution, or you think you have a good solution, bring it up.
Yeah.
Be thankful for the opportunities you come across in life. Love hard on your family, and always remember, chance favors the prepared mind.